In order to gain his parents' acceptance, my boyfriend decided to pursue his career in Europe alone. I gave him all the 300,000 yuan I saved as startup capital. I lived on steamed buns and cold water every day, living in a leaking, dilapidated house. There wasn't even a bathroom, saving every penny each month to send to Europe. Before boarding, Jonathan tightly held my hand and said, "Emily, you are the love of my life. I will definitely marry you when I return." That day, I was working on a part-time yacht job. He suddenly knelt on one knee to propose to another woman. A colleague told me, he is the heir of New York's richest family, proposing to his sweetheart who returned after studying abroad for many years. I watched the couple sweetly kiss amidst everyone's blessings. I stood there in the crowd, holding my plate in a daze, feeling particularly upset inside. It turned out he was the young master of a wealthy family. He already had a well-matched fiancée. I'm not just some poor kid struggling in Europe for my sake. I'm holding a plate, busy running around among the guests. Suddenly, the crowd surged in one direction. A colleague quickly grabbed my hand. They said, "Someone is proposing over there. Let's go take a look." I hadn't reacted yet, and I was pulled over to see the commotion. Suddenly, I heard a very familiar voice. It was Rachel. We grew up together. We could be considered childhood sweethearts. Actually, I've liked you since we were kids. I just never dared to say it. Later you went to study in the UK. Even though we were far apart, I always thought of you. You were the only one in my heart. Rachel, you are the love of my life. Will you marry me? The one proposing is my boyfriend, but the one he is proposing to is not me. Time seemed to stop suddenly. My head is buzzing. My chest feels tight with pain. I almost couldn't catch my breath. My colleague was gripping my hand excitedly as she spoke. That's the son of New York's richest man and his sweetheart who returned from studying abroad. They really are a perfect match. They're a match made in heaven. I held my colleague's hand tightly. My face was as pale as a blank sheet of paper. What did you say? He is the son of a wealthy man. That's right. I heard he planned for this proposal for 6 months. All for the current leading lady. Look quickly. Amidst the blessings of everyone, Jonathan gently kissed the girl in front of him. The gesture was as tender as if he were cherishing a precious treasure. I recalled every kiss we shared. He was always very dominant, only thinking about himself. I didn't expect he could also be so gentle. At that time, I naively thought that this was Jonathan's special way of showing his love for me. I gave it my all, finally escaped. My mind is filled with what just happened. I feel all dazed and confused. I don't even remember how I got on deck. I found a place where no one was around. I just want to catch my breath. How did things turn out like this? It's only been half a year since Jonathan left me. How did he become the son of a billionaire? And now he has a fiancée. Did I misunderstand something? Or has he been lying to me all along? I'm struggling to make sense of it. I was about to call Jonathan, but I didn't expect Jonathan and his friend to walk onto the deck with their glasses raised. Hey, John, now you finally got what you wanted. Congratulations. Jonathan looks so cheerful. He's as happy as if he found treasure. He raised his glass and downed it in one go. He gestured with his glass towards the other person. The guy laughed and punched him playfully. Rachel has grown up before our eyes. She's like our little sister. You need to treat her well. She's different from the girls you dated before. Everyone else nodded in agreement. Yeah, brother John, you're used to good food. Now try something simple for a change. We have no objections. Men, after all, it's normal to have some fun occasionally, but you need to handle the aftermath well. Don't let Rachel find out, so she won't be upset. Jonathan sneered disdainfully. He casually took a puff of his cigarette. You know, you're not wrong. She's a bit like Rachel. She is also devoted to me. I lied to her, saying I was starting a business in Europe for several months. She even saves money every month to send me. Today she sent a few €1,000 again. Hearing him say that, everyone laughed. Just a few €1,000. This amount of money can't even compare to the drink you had today. Hearing their words, I froze completely. I didn't even notice I was about to bite through my lip. Jonathan suddenly sighed. There was a tone of regret in his voice. If it weren't for Rachel coming back soon, I really wouldn't want to part with her. Someone nearby joked, "Hey, you don't actually have a crush on her, Do you? A brother quickly asked. Jonathan took a puff of his cigarette. Hearing this, he almost choked. He immediately retorted, "No way. You all don't understand. She's like a well-behaved puppy. She listens to me completely. She's even willing to give me everything. However, she's just someone I use to pass the time. Once I'm tired of her, that's it. After some time, I'll just tell her my business went under. I won't have the face to come back to her. I just hope she won't cling to me anymore." Everyone laughed at this. I couldn't bear to listen to the rest. I can't bear to listen any longer. I'm gripping my phone tightly. I called Jonathan. He hung up immediately, but soon he sent a message. "Dear, I'm a bit busy right now. I'll call you back later. I love you." The moment I saw that text message, I almost threw up. The deep feelings and vows from before turned out to be just a game for the rich. I forced myself to hold back the discomfort. I sent a text to Jonathan, asking him to hurry back to the country. About our situation. It needs to come to an end. I think he must be eager to get rid of me as soon as possible. As expected, it wasn't long before he replied, "I'll be back right away." Back at the rental place, I started to remember all the little moments we had together. Before this, I never thought Jonathan would do something to hurt me. He was the one who pursued me first. Looking back now, it was probably because I look a lot like his fiancée. That's why I attracted him. We first met at the client's company. Our auditing firm accepted the commission from the other company, responsible for the asset inventory work. This task is very tedious. It also takes a long time, so we temporarily set up office at their company. In order to complete the asset inventory, we often need to consult various questions with the company staff. Young employees are relatively easy to communicate with, but some higher-ranking leaders have particularly bad attitudes. Once, I was publicly criticized by someone from the other company. It was Jonathan who stepped in to help me resolve it. Since he came, the leaders have not made things difficult for me anymore. I didn't think too much at the time. I thought he was just an ordinary employee in the company. I didn't expect he might be the owner of the company. Since he got to know me, Jonathan has always been very kind to me. He took me around the company to help me get familiar with various places. Every noon, he would prepare my lunch in advance at the cafeteria. He said no one wanted to eat with him. He asked me to keep him company. That pampered young master. He actually went to eat in the cafeteria for an ordinary girl like me. It's really unfair to him. Since that time, we always had meals together. The carrots and cilantro that I don't like, he would carefully put them in his own bowl. He has always been by my side, like a little tail. Even strong women fear infatuated men. Moreover, Jonathan treats me so well. We gradually grew closer. When the project was nearing completion, Jonathan confessed his feelings to me. We moved in together. My love for him deepened. But now, this relationship is about to come to an end. The next day, Jonathan had already returned to his home country. I sent him a location message. Since he left, to save expenses, I changed my place of residence. There is no heating in the room. It coincided with the days I was feeling unwell. My stomach hurt like it was being stabbed. The room is also quite chilly. I always feel a draft coming in. I'm in so much pain I can't get out of bed. I can only endure it slowly. Jonathan is coming over. Seeing this environment, he slightly furrowed his brow. He seemed a bit dissatisfied. This house is cheaper than before, but it's also more run down. On rainy days, I always have to put a bucket under the leaking ceiling. As time goes by, the ceiling leaves behind a large unsightly water stain. He stands there, keeping his distance from me. He looks particularly uncomfortable, as if he's trying to avoid something dirty, but he seems distracted now. He even looks a bit anxious. His speech carries impatience. What's wrong? Are you throwing a tantrum? You know I'm starting a business. I'm really busy. I don't have time to play with you. And you know as well, round-trip tickets are not cheap. I'm doing this for both of our future. You need to mature a bit. If there's nothing important, don't call me back. I didn't say anything. Am I not obedient enough? It's precisely because I'm too obedient that I was deceived by him for 3 years, the best 3 years of my youth. Do I not deserve to have a better relationship? I always thought Jonathan went to Europe to start a business because of my parents. That day, my parents suddenly came to New York. They were really harsh on Jonathan. They think Jonathan's place is too shabby. This place only has 1 room, and the lighting is poor. If he were capable, how could he let you live in such a place? You're also being foolish. His family isn't well off. His education level isn't high either. What do you even see in him? What makes him worthy of you? Come back with me. Mom will introduce someone better to you. I pulled my mom's hand hard. I was anxiously signaling, Mom, can you please speak a little quieter? He treats me exceptionally well. Look, all these clothes were bought for me by him. As for abilities, we are still young. There are still many days ahead of us. Although I want to speak well of him in front of my parents, my words seem useless in the face of my parents' reality. But I believe in our future. At that time, I felt Jonathan thought the same way. After my parents left, Jonathan wasn't upset by what was said earlier. He even told me, for the sake of our future life, a friend has a project in Europe. He plans to give it a try. I was so moved that I cried on Jonathan's shoulder. I felt like I had found the best man in the world. I transferred all my savings of $300,000 that I had saved for several years. All of it went into Jonathan's account. First, as my support for him. Second, I thought it wouldn't be easy for him being away from home. I couldn't bear to see him suffer abroad. But when I mustered the courage to persist against external pressures, he has already decided to leave me. Since he left, I have been thinking about him. I used to want to go to Europe with him, but he said he didn't want me to suffer with him. I took it seriously. Now I want to tell him. I understand everything now. No need to pretend it's all for my good. This person is too fake. It's really unbearable. I was just about to say something when Jonathan's phone rang. He looked at the caller ID. His expression immediately became serious, but the corners of his mouth couldn't help but curl up. I immediately stood up and walked out. I didn't dare to waste any time. At that moment, the phone rang. It was an unfamiliar number. I answered and listened. It was Jonathan talking to his fiancée. I understand now. His fiancée is urging him. Rachel, I'll finish up and come back to you right away. Bro John, if you have something to do, go ahead and take care of it. You don't have to accompany me specially. Clearly, the fiancé is very considerate. But Jonathan said lightly, it's nothing. Just some trivial people and things. I'll be back once I'm done. You're the most important. Heh, it's trivial. The pain in my abdomen feels like being pricked by needles. It slowly spreads throughout my body. The heartache has rendered me numb. I can only tightly wrap myself in the blanket to ease the discomfort. Beads of sweat keep forming on my forehead. It has soaked my hair. At this moment, I finally understand completely, and I am utterly despairing. 3 years etched deeply in my heart, but he speaks of it lightly, gave my all sincerely. In the end, it was all deception. I hung up the phone. He finally saw my pale face. Your complexion doesn't look good. Are you feeling unwell? I weakly propped myself up to sit up. She turned her back to him. She said she had stomach pain due to her period. In the past, when she had her period, Jonathan would always hurriedly make me some brown sugar water. He would also prepare warm packs. At night when sleeping, he would actively wrap my cold feet in his arms to warm them. But now, I said these words. He didn't seem to react much. Is he unhappy? I promise. As soon as I'm done with this busy period, I'll come back to be with you. He held me tightly. He gently kissed my forehead. Then he kept looking at his phone. His gaze was a bit hesitant, but he still said he had to leave. He turned and left. Suddenly, my phone received a text message. You should have understood on the yacht. Jonathan only loves me. The yacht was specially arranged for you. Otherwise, with your status, you would never have the chance to get close to us. Leave Jonathan. I can offer you some compensation. Do all rich people think so highly of themselves? They all think I would covet Jonathan's status and money. You're not willing to leave, right? I just can't stand such hypocritical people. Men who are inconsistent in their words and actions. Let them compete for him. I don't care. There are plenty of educated and reliable men out there. Mom, are you still going to introduce me to someone like you said before? Usually, my mom always tells me to break up with Jonathan, but I really listened to her and was going to break up. Then she started to worry. She called me immediately. Emily, how are you? Don't be too sad. Come home soon. Mom misses you. He's just a man. It's not a big deal. I can't control myself anymore. Teardrops fell. After Jonathan left, I threw away all his things. His bag and clothes that he gave me are still here. I didn't know much about these brands back then. I thought some of the ones I recognized were replicas. I just checked a moment ago. I found that these are all luxury items. I've only used them a few times. I sold a bag. I got 440000. I took back the 300000 I had given him before. The rest of the items are still in the room, not touched at all. I sent him a final message. I gave him a month to collect these items. I deleted all his contact information. I also took out the SIM card and threw it away. I quit my job. I boarded the plane home. Since then, he and I no longer owe each other anything. Life at home has been really comfortable. My parents cook my favorite meals every day. They also prepared fruits and snacks. I sunbathe every day. I go shopping with my old classmates. Life is becoming more and more interesting. The only thing that gives me a headache is, my mom has introduced me to way too many blind date candidates. Every day, there are strangers adding me as friends on WeChat. That day, I was just like usual. I met a blind date at the coffee shop. Every day I meet with two guys. The shop owner has gone from finding it strange to getting used to it. The man across from me just sat down. Then I received a phone call. Where have you been? What do your text messages mean? I don't understand how he got my number. I used to chat with him almost every day. Yet he only remembered me over a month later. That's way too late. I'm breaking up with you. Don't you understand yet? On the other end of the line, his breathing became heavy. I could tell he was trying hard to suppress his anger. Come back right now. I already bought your ticket. We'll talk about it when you get back. I flat out refused. I'm not going back. I already know about your wedding. I was there at the time. Congratulations. The eldest son of the richest man. He was stunned for a few seconds. Lower your tone, Emily. That was an arranged marriage by the family. I have no choice. You know that. Given your family background, my parents would definitely not agree to us being together. But if you're willing to come back now, I can still interact with you like before. I just can't give you a title. I will try to make it up to you. I'm so angry. How come I never noticed he was so unreasonable before? He actually said something so absurd. Jonathan, stop dreaming. You want me to be your mistress. People like you don't even know how many relationships you've had. You still want me to interfere with others. I feel like you're dirty. Jonathan not only wasn't angry but he smiled. Go ahead, Emily. I know you're very angry right now. Let's both cool off for a while. Once I'm done with my work, I'll come to pick you up. Is that okay? What do you mean is that okay? I hung up the phone directly. I accidentally blocked his number. Money isn't everything. At least it is for me. I put down my phone. Suddenly realized I was on a blind date. The words I just said. The man across from me probably heard everything. I'm a little embarrassed. I looked up. To my surprise, the person sitting across from me was my high school classmate, Daniel. Do you remember me? We were classmates in high school. I was even your desk mate. The man in front of me has fair skin. He wears silver-framed glasses. He's dressed in a black coat. He looks like a high IQ protagonist from a comic. He looks at me with a puzzled expression. It seems he's trying hard to remember my name. If it were other high school classmates, especially those I used to sit with, they might not remember my name. I would definitely find it strange. But with Daniel, I actually find it quite normal. He was the top student in our school for many years. Us ordinary students were on a completely different level from him. He has no friends. He doesn't have any hobbies either. Even when he sat next to me, the number of times he initiated a conversation with me, I can count it on one hand. Even he came to a blind date. I find it a bit funny. I'm like I was in high school. I dragged him along and chattered a lot. He's still the same. Out of 10 sentences, he rarely replies to one. Where are you working now? Back then, I clearly told you to add me on QQ. Why didn't you add me? As soon as the college entrance exam ended, you seemed to have disappeared. It's not easy to see you again. I'll treat you to this meal. How come you're here for a blind date? Daniel seems a bit helpless. Emily, you're still the same as before. I thought he would compliment me on not changing. I'm a bit happy inside. You should drink more coffee. What does that mean? Do you think I'm too loud? All right. I'm indeed a bit excited to see an old classmate. When we finished eating and were about to pay the bill, I found that he had already settled the bill. Daniel was waiting for me at the door. He said, "Let's go. I'll take you back." I looked at the car. I asked him, "This is your car?" I stared at the luxury car at the door. "Looks like you're doing well," Daniel replied lightly. I followed him with my head down. Daniel suddenly stopped. He pulled me into his arms. The fresh scent of mint surrounded me instantly, leaning against his solid chest. I seemed to hear his strong heartbeat. My heart raced along with it. Blood rushed to my head. I felt my face burning up. The harsh sound of an electric scooter horn interrupted my thoughts. The car almost hit me. I quickly pulled Daniel to the side. "Don't always keep your head down when walking," Daniel reminded me. He conveniently opened the car door for me. I responded with a sound. Oh, I was still thinking about how it felt to bump into him earlier. When I pushed him, it seemed like I accidentally touched his abs. It really made my heart race. Except for Jonathan. I haven't touched any other men, but the sensation was quite nice. All the way home, I didn't dare to look up at Daniel. During dinner that night, my mom curiously inquired about the blind date. I hurriedly stuffed some food into my mouth. I stammered. It was okay, I guess. My mom shot me an annoyed glance. You always say the same thing when I ask you. Stop eating. I'm not done eating yet, Mom. By evening, I just couldn't fall asleep. All I could think about was Daniel. Back in high school, how did I not notice he was so charming? I'm usually not someone who easily gets infatuated. It's probably about to start my period. Right. It must be that way. That's correct. I'm not just attracted to how he looks. The next day I overslept. I could hear someone talking downstairs from upstairs. It seems like guests have arrived. I'm not really concerned. Going downstairs to have breakfast. Come on, Emily. Daniel came to see me. You sat next to him in high school, right? Dad said enthusiastically. He was my high school physics teacher. He just happened to teach our class in senior year. I thought Daniel didn't understand these social interactions. I didn't expect him to come to my house. He said he hasn't been back for a long time. He just got back and has been busy. Today he finally found time to visit his teacher. Daniel spoke quite thoughtfully. My dad's favorite student came to see him. He was so happy he couldn't stop smiling. How could I blame him? Where are you working now? How's work going? My dad handed me a cup of tea. Daniel politely accepted the tea. Go ahead. Now I'm starting my own business. I started a company. My dad seemed quite happy. He brought the conversation back to me. You and Emily haven't seen each other for a long time, right? We just went on a blind date yesterday. Can I even say that? Yeah, it's been a while. I quickly joined the conversation. I gave Daniel a glance. He looked at me deeply, then lowered his head. His expression became somewhat gloomy. I don't know if I'm overthinking it. I actually felt he was a bit wronged. My mom doesn't know he's the one I went on a blind date with yesterday. Everyone in the family really likes Daniel. They called him Little Lou on the left and Little Lou on the right. After meeting Daniel on the last blind date, I quickly called off the blind date activities. If I run into an old classmate again, that would be so embarrassing. I'm currently a teacher at an elementary school. Every day commuting to and from work. Life has been quite leisurely. Days pass by peacefully. Ever since my parents met Daniel last time, they have really taken a liking to him. Now they always invite him over for dinner. I feel like they are closer to him than to me, their own daughter. After dinner, Mom asked me to see Daniel off. Just as I reached the door, I saw a familiar car parked by the roadside. Jonathan got out of the car, holding a bouquet of roses. I don't understand what he's doing. I thought we had made ourselves very clear. Emily, I've come to find you. You win. I admit defeat. I still can't forget you. Jonathan is like coaxing a child. Jonathan, I've said it many times. We have already broken up. I admit we once had a wonderful time together. I did love you, but you have already made your choice. I'm getting married soon. Right. Then I have a reason to let go of the past and live my own life. Jonathan was clearly stunned. He didn't expect that. Even if he came to my house, I still wouldn't go back with him. He said, Emily, I was wrong. I always thought I was just seeing you as a substitute for Rachel. But after spending time with Rachel, I finally understood. I've always truly liked you. You are different from others. You love me for who I am. Even if I have no status or position, you still love me. Emily, I'll go back and cancel the engagement. We'll be like we were in the past. Is that okay? Jonathan held my hand tightly. He squeezed my wrist until it turned red. Like he was crazy. I was a bit scared. I shouted at him, Jonathan, let go. Daniel saw the situation. I rushed up and punched Jonathan. He snatched me back from his hands. Who do you think you are? Jonathan shouted. I hid behind Daniel. I pressed tightly against him. Jonathan suddenly understood. He sneered. You don't want to go with me. It's because of someone else. He looked at the two of us. He paused for a moment before speaking. Emily, you are just deliberately being with him to make me sad, aren't you? It's okay. I'll give you another chance. We can still be together. I sighed. I said loudly, Jonathan, we really can't do this anymore. How many times do you want me to repeat it? His expression gradually hardened, like a hunter finally shedding his false disguise. Emily, don't be ungrateful. Do you think he understands what's between us? If he knew, would he still want to be with you? He stared at Daniel. Let me tell you, I used to date this woman. You definitely don't know. I wasted 3 years of her life. She sacrificed so much for me. I just couldn't hold back. I went up and slapped him. Get out of here. I was trembling all over. There were tears welling up in my eyes. I didn't expect this. The man I loved for 3 years turned out to be so terrible. What hurts me more is, Daniel was also present. Just thinking that Daniel would know about this, I couldn't help but want to cry. It's so embarrassing. I turned my head sharply. I didn't dare to look at him, afraid of seeing disdain in his eyes. But what surprised me was, Daniel also grabbed Jonathan by the collar and slapped him. Do you think bullying women makes you look tough? Someone like you, who is both foolish and self-centered, would nitpick over such things. You're really foolish to the core. I don't think it's worth it to even touch you. Daniel pushed Jonathan away. He let me into his car. I watched Jonathan walk away. I felt a bit relieved inside. My parents are still at home. I'm worried he might cause a scene at home. It would be a problem if he makes my parents angry. Maybe he lost control because of his emotions. Or maybe it's just the two of us, Daniel and me. My tears started falling one by one. The more I cried, the worse it got. Eventually, I couldn't stop sobbing. Daniel's lips twitched slightly. It seemed he didn't expect me to cry so unreservedly. Here, take some tissue. Quick, wipe your tears. Don't let the teacher find out. Daniel shoved the tissue into my hand. I whispered a thank you. I wiped my tears away. Maybe he couldn't help but ask since I was crying so sadly. Daniel couldn't help but ask, do you really like him that much? No, not at all, I said. I just feel that way. 3 years wasted for nothing. It's really not worth it, to be honest. Those 3 years were truly a pity. I gave you all my feelings. Your judgment of people is really poor. What Daniel said pierced my heart like a knife. Forget it. I shouldn't hold a grudge. After all, he just helped me teach Jonathan a lesson. So, do you want to be with me? Aw, what? I can't believe my ears. I'm completely dazed. After getting out of the car, I walked home. I didn't know how to move my hands and feet. The question of whether to consider me kept swirling in my mind. My mom noticed I was absent-minded as soon as I got back. She asked me, "Why did it take you so long to drop someone off? I could tell you were out of it." I blurted out, "Do you want to consider me?" Sigh. What am I even saying? I hurried back to my room. My mom found it strange from behind. This girl is getting more and more mysterious every day. The next morning, Daniel arrived right on time to pick me up for work. As soon as I got in the car, Daniel leaned over. That face slowly came closer. I was so nervous that I didn't dare to breathe. He reached out to pull the seatbelt. He helped me fasten it. Oh, so I misunderstood. During this time, Daniel picked me up for work every day. He occasionally made some intimate gestures, but never crossed the line. Those actions made people think too much, but upon closer inspection, they felt quite natural. My parents noticed something strange between us. However, they preferred to see us together. The turning point in our relationship was after I had that fever. I don't know why. I always loved to whine and act cute when I had a cold. I became especially delicate when I was burning with fever and feeling fuzzy. I saw Daniel walk to my bedside. He tucked the blanket around me. Then he gently touched my forehead. I really couldn't take it anymore. I grabbed his wrist. "Don't go. Stay here with me." Daniel sat down and said softly, "I'm not going anywhere. You just sleep." I slowly closed my eyes. I vaguely heard Daniel talking. When I woke up, I found him still sitting by the bed. Suddenly, I felt a warmth in my heart. I was together with Daniel. Both sets of parents were quite happy. Daniel gradually handed over the company's work to another partner. He kept only his shares. He started to focus more on helping the children in his hometown who couldn't afford school. When I was a child, I followed my dad to the countryside to teach. I saw many children who couldn't afford to go to school because their families were poor. Since then, I have donated money every year to impoverished students in the mountainous areas. Later on, the partner is looking for Daniel. It seems like he has encountered a particularly difficult problem. He has been coming home later than before, and he has to travel for work often. I'm feeling a bit uneasy, but he says they are just minor issues. I suddenly thought of Jonathan. Given Jonathan's family background, it would be easy to put Daniel in a difficult position. I called Jonathan to arrange a meeting to talk. When Jonathan saw me, he guessed I was there about Daniel. He smiled wryly and said, "I thought you still had some feelings for me. It really is my fault. But I truly didn't expect that this inconspicuous little company of Daniel's actually holds key technology. Otherwise, he would definitely lose badly this time." I was just about to leave, when Jonathan suddenly grabbed my wrist and said, "Emily, I have come to an agreement with Rachel. We will only maintain a superficial marriage. You are the one I truly want to marry. You are the one I truly want to marry. I can provide you with money, a house, and a car. I can help elevate your social status. That Daniel is just a partner in a small company. What prospects can there be by following him?" I looked at Jonathan seriously. Money isn't everything. There are some things that money can't buy, like genuine trust and feelings. I was about to leave the restaurant. Jonathan called out from behind, "It was my fault before. I know Daniel treats you well." That reassures me. After returning home, Daniel proposed to me. The following summer, we held the wedding. I caught a glimpse of Jonathan hurriedly leaving the wedding venue. In the evening, while counting the gift money, I discovered he also contributed a gift, a total of $88,000. Daniel returned the money that night. I sat on the bed, suddenly remembered that day when I had a fever and fell asleep. It seemed Daniel said something. I asked him. He said it was a secret. I shot him a glare. Last winter. I never expected it. My boyfriend of so many years would do something to hurt me. At the time when I was most hurt, I never expected that half a year later, someone would appear to protect and cherish me. Although people's hearts can change easily, I believe I will eventually meet someone worth loving. If I don't meet anyone, I must also learn to cherish myself. Daniel watched the girl in front of him slowly close her eyes. He recalled the first time he met her. She had short hair that reached her ears. She looked very well behaved, with an innocent and naive appearance. He had never seen such a lively girl. During their first meeting, she could chat with a stranger for an entire class. His world had always been very quiet. There was no sound. Because he had a high IQ since childhood, he always struggled to keep up with his peers' topics. He found those topics too childish and very uninteresting. The formulas in textbooks weren't very meaningful, but Emily was different. She could play with everyone in the class. Wherever I go, I have a group of friends with me. When she talks to me, I rarely pay attention to her, but she doesn't care. It seems she just needs someone to listen to her. She can talk for an entire class by herself. Slowly, Daniel seems to be used to having someone like her around. It hasn't been like this for a long time. He feels a renewed energy inside. Emily is like a bright splash of color, just like the bright yellow clothes she loves to wear. She must have grown up surrounded by her family's love. Unlike my own home, where there is only endless noise all day long, Daniel can't remember when he started to like the sun. By the time he realized it, his heart had already been painfully sunburned. But Emily didn't give him a chance. He discovered the love letters she wrote to others. They were in the drawer. Later, he specifically went to New York to find out about her, only to learn that she already had someone else by her side. This time when he came back, he accidentally heard Emily's name. He quickly convinced his cousin, arranged for her to go on a blind date. She is still the same as before, so lively and vibrant.